Hello, my name is Erin Kane, and I have the great privilege of serving as the superintendent of Douglas County Schools. Did you know that Douglas County is almost the size of Rhode Island? It consists of so much land mass. We have 89 schools in Douglas County. Our school district collects over $640 million a year in revenue to take care of the 64,000 students that are enrolled in our school district. We also have 8,600 employees. That makes Douglas County School District the largest employer in Douglas County. So let's talk about how our schools are funded here in Douglas County.
When our property taxes go up, that means more funding for the schools, right?
That is actually not the case with the school district. The state legislature determines how much funding each school district in Colorado receives each year. Think of that amount as our bucket. Our bucket is filled with local tax dollars first. And then the state general fund, which is income taxes and sales taxes, comes in to fill in the difference to get us to the top of the bucket. If we collect more money locally because Douglas County is thriving, that bucket is filled with more local dollars, but less state dollars. The size of the bucket does not change.
Is there anything we can do to make the bucket larger?
Well, under the law, you can change the size of your bucket through a mill levy override. You are allowed to ask your local taxpayers for a mill levy override that increases your bucket size up to 25%. We have a mill levy override here in Douglas County already for schools, thanks to our taxpayers, that make up about 12% of our funding. So if you take Cherry Creek School District, for example, that's where we lose a lot of our educators to. Their bucket size has been increased to that full 25%. With ours sitting at 12%, it's a difference of about $94 million. So it is really hard for us to be able to pay our teachers competitively. And in fact, we aren't able to pay our teachers competitively. Our teachers on average make about $18,000 a year, less than, for example, Cherry Creek School District. And it isn't just our teachers. We're struggling to pay all of our employees competitively. We're struggling to pay our education assistants. They can make significantly more if they go work at Chick-fil-A. We're struggling to pay our campus security specialists and many of the other support staff that make the work that our teachers and staff do for children every single day possible.
That makes sense, but what about the buildings?
With 111 buildings, our capital maintenance costs are around $20 to $30 million a year. Many of us have been in Douglas County for a very long time. When I moved here, it was certainly my hope that the community that I moved in would have a neighborhood elementary school that my children could walk to and that the neighbors' children could walk to, and that would be an anchor in our community. It's very reasonable for people who are moving into the Canyons or Sterling Ranch or Crystal Valley, for example, to have that same expectation. We need to build new elementary schools to accommodate this growth. We also need to maintain the 111 buildings that we are responsible for. And the way we need to do that is through local bond elections.
What do you do with the money you already have?
We spend 83% of our revenue dollars on our people, salary, benefits, etc.
What about all of these central administration costs?
We actually have an incredibly lean administration in Douglas County School District. For example, Douglas County School District's Human Resources Department employs 23 human resources professionals to care for the needs of our 8,600 employees. That's a ratio of 1 human resources professional to 370 employees. Other major school districts around the metro area have a ratio that represents twice as many HR professionals per employee. So we are running a very lean operation in trying to make sure that we focus all of our energy on our schools and on our children.
What about the 2018 bond and mill? Where did all that money go?
We are really grateful for the mill levy override that passed 4 years ago in 2018. That mill levy override helped us put more counselors in our buildings and helped us resolve some of the internal pay gaps that we've experienced. We're also really grateful for the bond that was passed 4 years ago. That bond allowed us to be able to resolve capital maintenance issues that had been accruing over a decade in our district, but we still have that $20 to $30 million a year going forward in capital needs. In my mind, Douglas County is one big family. And at the end of the day, we need to decide what it is that we want for our children and how we want to make sure that we provide that for our children. Thank you so much for your attention today.